Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Today we are having a look at another devblog for update 1.103, and this time it's time to have a look at one of the pre-order packs or the premiums that's going to be available in the updates. This is the T-72АV and the TURMS-T or the TURMS-T of the Syrian Guard. This is a basic Soviet T-72A which has been modernized for the Syrian army. The big upgrade of it is the TURMS fire control system. This was developed by an Italian company, Galileo, and it was previously used on the C-1 Ariete tanks. And in the early 2000s, the fire control system was adopted for the T-72. This fire control system in the game is going to be incredibly good. What it offers is gunner thermals and also commander thermals. So this will be a just ridiculous premium, especially when it comes to these ideas. If you've ever used the CV90-105, which of course is the premium for the Swedish, you'll know how effective stuff like second-gen thermals can be when being able to precisely tell what targets you're shooting at. Well, imagine you have that, but on an MBT with decent armor and pretty good mobility, apart from, of course, the reverse gear. The system gives the commander a panoramic sight. It also features a high-quality thermal imaging gunner sight, but also should have a commander's thermal sight as well, according to the pre-order pack itself. A high-resolution thermal vision for both gunner and commander. When it comes to the general protection of the vehicle, though, it should be very similar to the T-72A that you see before you. And the only addition when it comes to extra armor is Contact 1. And if I'm honest with you, Contact 1 is not, great, especially when now we have Relict and also Contact 5 in the game. One of the things to also point out about this vehicle is you shoot it exactly where you shoot every Soviet vehicle. Either the lower glacis, the driver's port, and sometimes you can even pen through the breach and kill the crew in the middle. It also has, of course, the autoloader for the 125mm, because that hasn't been changed. The only significant thing that has been changed on this is its optics, which, you will be able to deal with. One of the things that it also doesn't have, so you can't just, you can't just shoot without aiming, is it doesn't have the anti-tank missiles that are available for a lot of other Soviet vehicles, which go, pretty much all the way through the top tier of the Soviet tech tree. So this thing is going to be limited to APF-SDS and also a powerful chemical AP round. So it's going to get really good APF-SDS and also probably some other nice stuff as well. The reload should be similar to other T-72s that we have in game. The mobility should also be similar to a lot of other T-72s that we have in the game, meaning that it is a lot better than its T-64B counterparts. And I've said many times that, at least for me, I would definitely prefer a T-72 premium over a T-64 one for that reason. The mobility of the vehicle is just a lot better compared to its other predecessor. It's kind of surprising to get this one, but then again, a lot of people have been asking for a higher tier Soviet premium, especially since the T-55AM went down to 8.3. There has been calls for something like this, and well, here it is now. It's kind of odd that it's coming in this update. I feel like it would have worked if it came in last update when they added the T-72B 1989 and also the T-72B3. This would have been a perfect premium for individuals to take in order to grind through it. But I suppose with the addition of the T-90A and maybe some other toys for the Soviets, it does make sense that it at least is coming in now. This thing will obviously have the same bonuses that a lot of other premiums have when it comes to its overall cost. So it will get a bonus in rewards in the form of research and also Silver Lions. So that is something to look forward to. If we have a look at the store page, you can see that you also get some other goodies with it if you decide to pre-order. So you get 2000 GE, You get 15 days of premium accounts. You also get yourself an assault rifle 3D decoration, which you can see right here, and also the Desert Lion title. Now, generally, when it comes to decorations and titles, I'm not that interested in them, and I also don't add them into the overall price. But if you just take the 2000 GE in the premium account for 15 days, this is basically $15 worth of stuff on top of the T-72. So if you take that away, this vehicle in its entirety is about $45. I think that's probably the way to put it. And then obviously you can use the GE for some of the interesting sales that are going to be coming up hopefully in the next week, where they're bringing back certain vehicles. Another thing to also mention about this T-72 is its BR is going to be kind of interesting to see what they decide to put it at. The fact that this vehicle is going to have, pretty good APF-SDS, incredibly good optics, which is something that limits a lot of the T-72s and T-64s, especially since night battles are way more prevalent at high tiers. It'll be interesting to see where this thing finds itself. Will it find itself in a situation where it is at 10-0, so it's alongside the T-80B, so its maneuverability won't be the best, but it will have those wonderful commander thermals? Or will it be sat at something like 9.7, where it will be incredibly good for a vehicle? It also has the standard 125mm with the stabilizer, so you don't have to worry about, getting the gun on target. The only issue is the horizontal drive isn't the best at its BR. I've been playing a lot of vehicles around the BR, and it definitely seems, at least for me, that the Soviets have quite a low turret rotation. Not the worst, but definitely not the best either. It also has a 7.62mm coaxial machine gun with a 12.7mm on the top, which is very handy at dealing with helicopters at the start of the game, which generally you will find quite a lot of. And it also has some smoke grenade launchers, which seem to be standard compared to other T-72s we already have in game. It also has a 780 horsepower engine. This means that it can get up to a maximum speed of 60 kilometers an hour. So the overall mobility of the vehicle should be very similar to other T-72s in game. And as a person who has spaded the T-72A and also the T-72B, the T-72B 1989, I can definitely vouch for the fun factor of the T-72s. One of the great things about the T-72s is they're incredibly small compared to a lot of other vehicles, so therefore their weak spots are not exactly huge and can be hidden quite well, especially with the volumetric change. You can just put your barrel over the driver's port and it's pretty much hard to hit. The fact that the main limiting factor of stuff such as the T-72s, which are in game currently, is the fact that night battles exist and you only have NVDs and no thermals, apart from for the B3, shows that these vehicles are generally, pretty good, at least in my opinion. I've been playing a lot of top tier MBTs recently, a lot of 9.7s, a lot of 10.0s, a lot of 10.3s and 10.7s, and I would say if we disregard something like the Type 90, which was incredibly fun, the T-72s are definitely one of my favorite vehicles to play, because they get the balance between armor, between speed, and between gun very, very nicely at 9.3 and 9.7. And they just generally have a lot of really cool stuff to them. You do have to watch out with that 3-man crew, though. It does mean that if you ever expose your side road wheel that you can see in front here, you will just die. So you've got to be very careful of that. And then also, what's nice about having an autoloader is you only have to take like 15 to 20 rounds. You don't have to fill the autoloader, so it's going to be very hard to ammo rack the machine as well on top of that. So your survivability increases as long as you go hull front. I think the fact that this is going to slot into an already powerful lineup, whether it's 9.7, 10.0, or even up to 10.7, which I highly doubt, should show that this vehicle is going to be really nice to play alongside many others. If it comes into the game lower than that, like 9.3 or 9.0, my guess is if it comes in at 9.3, it's going to have absolutely terrible armor on it, but it would be incredibly surprising and also an instant purchase, because it shows to me that this vehicle would be way better than the standard T-72A that we have in the game. I would definitely drop a bit of the armor from the T-72A in order to get commander and gunner's thermals on a vehicle like this. That would be kind of ridiculous. But overall, it's nice to see this vehicle. It's odd that it didn't come out last update with the big additions to the Soviet side that we had, but at least it's here now, and you can pre-purchase it on the Gaijin store if you want to, through the Devblog. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank Trigger Hippie, Universe, Conte Baraka, Elove Goat, Eugens Terry, Ambrosius McClellan, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Hans, and Samuel Slick for supporting the channel.